And so today I want to give you 6 gym hacks that every lifter should know. 6 practical gym hacks that will help you lift smarter, stay focused, as well as respect the space that we all share, this beautiful space that we call the gym. Welcome to First Responder Fitness with Carl Wimmer, where armor is forged through mental, spiritual, and physical preparation. Welcome to First Responder Fitness with Carl Wimmer. I am your host, Carl Wimmer, and I thank you for joining me again this week for yet another fantastic episode dedicated to your health, your strength, your fitness, your mental acuity, your spiritual fitness. All of those tied together to produce a long, happy, healthy life. Well, I have quite an exciting week coming up myself. I have my eldest son, who is a firefighter, getting married this coming weekend. And as such, things around the Wimmer household are chaotic and busy. And so this episode is going to be short, succinct, yet powerful, and will have information that will help you to be precise and effective in the gym. You have to ask yourself a question. Are you making the most of your time in the gym? Many of us go in there and many people go in there and they tootle around a little bit and they lift a little weight here and there, and then maybe they get on the elliptical or a stationary bike, whatever they might do. And it seems like they don't come in with a plan. They don't have any kind of organized schedule for what they're trying to accomplish. And so today I want to give you 6 gym hacks that every lifter should know. 6 practical gym hacks that will help you lift smarter, stay focused, as well as respect the space that we all share, this beautiful space that we call the gym. So I hope you're ready for this. These are not trendy tricks. They're just real battle-tested strategies that I think that I implement, and I hope that you can implement. I've implemented these for years. I have taught them to people over the years, and they're just some simple hacks that can help you be more efficient. Whether you're a first responder or just a busy professional, anyone who's just chasing results in the gym, these tips should help you train more effectively, more efficiently, starting today. So let's start with gym hack number 1. Gym hack number 1 is warm up with a purpose. Warm up with a purpose. Your warm up is not just movement. You're not just going in there flailing your arms, doing a couple arm circles and then hitting the big weights. That's a recipe for a rotator cuff injury or some other type of injury. We don't want to just aimlessly get on the treadmill, although that is helpful to warm up the core body temperature and get a good sweat going. But you want to do some dynamic movements. I would encourage you to look up how to do some dynamic stretches. You want to make sure that you're stretching and you're warming up in a dynamic method before you lift weights. One of my favorite things, I like to do body weight squats, lunges. I like to use resistance bands to really loosen up tight hips and open up the shoulders and get everything loose and ready to go. Have a purpose for your warm-up. It sets the tone for the rest of your workout. So if you go in and you just haphazardly start moping around the gym and consider that a warm-up, that's not the way to do it. Go in and use the warm-up time to mentally set yourself for the work ahead. Prepare your body and prepare your mind. Tip number 2, or I should say hack number 2, which is actually perhaps my favorite out of all of these, it is use supersets to cut time, to save time. Use supersets to save time. But you're certainly not cutting quality when you use supersets. I have worked out using supersets for a very long time. Now, what is a superset? there's a couple different ways to use them. The traditional superset is you go in and you superset opposing muscle groups. For instance, you could go in and do a bench press. Just simple. I'm trying to make this as simple as possible, but do a bench press. That works the chest and the triceps and the anterior deltoid. So you go in and do a bench press, and immediately, without resting, you could go to a lat pull down. So your chest and your triceps and your shoulders are kind of resting and recuperating as you're doing the pull down, which works your latissimus dorsi, the lats, the rhomboids, and other spinal erectors. And then you take a rest. So that is one superset. You did a push, and then you did a pull, kind of the opposing muscle groups. The way I do my supersets right now is I don't necessarily do opposing muscle groups, but I do opposing muscles or opposite muscles. So right now I do a push-pull leg split twice a week. So I'm working out 6 days a week. And that's a lot. So I don't encourage anyone who's new to work out that often. But for me, I'm doing that. And what I will do is I'll go in and let's say I will do dumbbell lateral raises to work the outside head of the deltoid. So I'm doing lateral raises, and I'll do a set of lateral raises. And then having worked my shoulder, I'll then go to maybe a dip, a weighted dip, a tricep push down, maybe a chest press or a dumbbell press of some sort to work the pecs. And so I consider that a push day because I'm working the pushing muscles, the shoulders and the chest and the triceps in one workout. And so I wouldn't do, let's say, side laterals and then overhead press or Arnold presses, because that's both of those are shoulder exercises. But I will do maybe cable flies, cable crossovers, and side laterals. So I'll work a shoulder and a chest, one right after the other, and then rest. And then I do that again, and then I rest. The advantage to a superset is obviously it saves time, but it really gets intense too. Rather than going in and doing your standard 5 sets by X amount of reps, so typically a person will go and say, okay, I'm going to do bench press first, and they'll do a set of bench press. They'll rest 2 minutes. They'll do another set of bench press. They'll rest 2 minutes, and they'll do that 5 times. And then they'll go to their next exercise, let's just say cable crossovers, and they'll do a set of cable crossovers, and they'll rest, and then they'll do another set, and they'll rest, and they'll do 5 sets of that, and then they'll go to their triceps, and they'll do some triceps, and they'll do 5 sets of those with rest in between each set. Whereas you can see that the superset, you're really getting 2 sets in one, and it's intense. You do not sacrifice any amount of quality or muscle growth in doing supersets, and you save a tremendous amount of time in the gym. So I highly recommend use supersets to save time. Hack number 3, log your workouts. One of the most important principles of exercise is to continue to add weight or add reps or add sets. We call this progressive overload. And in order to grow over time, in order for your muscles to grow over time, in order to get stronger over time, you have to continue to put harder stressors on your muscles. You can't go into the gym one day and let's say you bench press 50 pounds for 2 reps, and you continue to do that over and over and over until you can bench press 50 pounds 100 times. You have progressively overloaded by adding more reps, but that's not efficient. You need to add more weight. You need to add more sets. You need to add more volume. You need to add more intensity. How are you going to know how much you need to lift if you're not logging it? If you're not tracking, you're not progressing. You need to track your weights. And it's so fun to do this because as you track, then over time, you can look back 3 months and say, holy cow, I've improved. Look how much stronger I am. Use it. You can use your phone. You can use a fitness app. There's a ton of fitness apps out there that you can log your workouts, or just use good old-fashioned pen and paper. Get yourself a notebook and write it down. That's what me and my powerlifting crew did for years. We have stacks of notebooks that we'd have all of our names at the top and the day we're doing it and what we would do. And we just have these. It was the most archaic method of logging our workouts, but it was effective and it worked. We logged our sets, our reps, and the amount of weight we were doing. And we also would maybe put notes in there, like if you got injured or if you did anything like that, just little notes to help you when you look back on it, what's going on in your training program. This helps you spot plateaus and it helps you stay accountable. So if you hit a plateau, you can look and see where you might need to change some things up. So hack number 3, start logging your workouts. Hack number 4, master the 2-to-1 tempo. The 2-to-1 tempo. What the heck does that mean? That means you should lower the weight twice as slowly as you raise the weight. The eccentric or negative portion of every lift should take you twice as long as the concentric or positive motion. If you're doing a bench press, lowering the weight to the chest should be under controlled fashion the whole way. And you could even count. Let's say you count for 3 seconds all the way down and then explode that weight back up. So you want to make sure that the descent in your squats, your presses, your rows is slow and controlled. This will build muscle faster than just about any of these other hacks if you will just slow down. Now, some of you won't like that because some of you are probably logging your workouts. And when you start slowing down, the amount of reps you get goes down. The amount of weight you can put on the bar goes down. Well, of course it does because you're working harder. Okay? Think about the side lateral, the dumbbell side lateral. Well, okay, now let's think about the bench press. I like speaking in terms that most people understand. Let's talk about the bench press. If you go on the bench press and you just rep out as fast as you can go, 5 to 10 reps of a particular weight, that might make you feel strong and explosive and great. But then you take that same weight and you lower it under controlled fashion, taking 2, 3, even 4 seconds to lower it to your chest, and then explode it up. And do that again, and then explode it up. Odds are your repetition range is going to be cut in half. It's at least going to be cut by a third. And that's because time under tension is wearing your muscle fibers out. But that's what we want. For hypertrophy, you want more TUT, time under tension. Going slowly in the eccentric or negative phase does more damage to the muscle fibers, which is what you want. Okay. You don't want, obviously you don't want to injure yourself, but you want more micro tears and more micro damage to the muscle fibers. So it will signal protein muscle synthesis and get your muscles building and laying over that tissue so that you gain strength and muscle mass. So slow down in the gym when you're doing your repetitions. This isn't a race. Slow down and keep that tension on the muscles where it belongs. Hack number 5 is stay present. This is so important in this day and age, and we all fall into this. We all fall victim of this. But in between your sets, resist the urge, or at least pay very close attention to what you're doing when you pick up your phone and you start scrolling through social media. because social media is like a time machine. You'll start scrolling, and the next thing you know, 5 minutes has passed, and you've rested 5 minutes between sets. Not only are you wasting time and disrupting the intensity of your workout, but you're probably hogging a piece of equipment that somebody else probably wants to be using. So stay present during your workouts. Do not doom scroll. Check it, look at it, and be done. Make sure you stay present and pay attention to the time between sets so that what should be a 45-second or a minute and a half rest doesn't turn into a 5, 8, 10-minute rest. And then you're like, oh, shoot, I got to do another set. Long distracted rests and breaks kill your intensity. And I do have to say, as we go into hack number 6, they're connected. It's a little bit disrespectful because if you're hogging equipment and your gym has limited equipment, you don't know who's watching and waiting for you to be finished. So the way to fix this, set a timer or just stay focused and be mindful of your surroundings. Be mindful of where you are and what you're doing. That brings us to hack number 6. And this is not really a hack for muscle building, but it is a hack that the gym culture needs. And that is be courteous. Be a courteous lifter, won't you? We go into the gym and it is a shared space. You're paying your gym membership dues. Other people are paying their dues as well. So re-rack your weights. Wipe down the bench. Don't sit on a machine doom scrolling in between sets. Work, focus on your work, and be courteous and friendly. Don't record other people without their permission for likes and for social media clout. In fact, if you record your workouts, that's fine. But if somebody walks in between you and the camera, just understand you don't own the gym, okay? They're there to work out as well. You're the one who's causing the inconvenience. So be nice, be courteous, treat people how you want to be treated. A great gym culture starts with respect, encouragement, helpfulness. If you see someone who needs help, help them out. If you see somebody who looks like they're lost, offer a helping hand. Don't make fun of people. Don't be a bad member. Just be someone who you would be the person, picture the person in your mind who is the perfect gym member. Someone who goes there, does their job, does their business, is courteous and kind to others, re-racks their weights, wipes the sweat off of the equipment, doesn't treat people poorly. Be the lifter that people want to be around. You know, make eye contact with people. Share when possible. Think about that. You know, maybe you got 10, 15, 20, 30 years of lifting experience. And there's some young people there who could use encouragement or who could use a helping hand. One thing that I try to do at the gym is I try to befriend most of the people there. Some people don't want to have a friendly conversation. Some people just want to work out, and I respect that completely. But I'll always nod or smile, give a thumbs up. And if somebody will actually talk to me, I like to get to know people. I like to be courteous and kind to people because the world has enough darkness. The world has enough rudeness. Everyone is dealing with their own inner demons. And it's nice to go to a gym where there's a camaraderie. You know, I am convinced that if the entire world would just get together and work out together, it's one of the answers to world peace, right? Because when you're in the gym together, there's no race, there's no gender, there's no financial bias. We're just people working hard to improve ourselves, to improve our health. And that should be commended. And so I just encourage you, respect the shared space, be a courteous lifter. That's it. The 6 hacks to help you be more efficient. 6 hacks that every gym lifter should know. Do you have any to add? I would love to hear your comments. Comment down below any suggestions that you have, any hacks that you have found over the years. I encourage you to add them in. Which one of these do you want to work on? Which one of these should you improve on? Let me know as well. Just know that we're always here to help you and encourage you. We love our first responders. We love all of our viewers and listeners. Thank you for all of your feedback. Thank you for watching and joining me this week. I'm Carl Wimmer, reminding you to be good to yourself, be good to others, and as always, stay safe.